Welcome to the video. I am currently on the Mine Your Mind servers, and I am designing this. If you're here, you're interested in learning how to design, or at least get a better idea of how to design. I am not doing this with freehand. I am just over halfway done, and I am using chisel and bits, mini bits, the little teeny blocks here. Each one of these is an individual little placement. As you can see, it's turning out fairly good. On your right, you'll see over here, I have GIMP open with a 16 by 16 sized rectangular selection. Okay? That is the size of one block. And I'll zoom out so you can see. This is the entire area that I've already finished. Now I have cherry picked and chose and modified as I went along, but that is the general pattern I'm following. And I'm choosing alternate colors because that way I know where I've been and it's easier to line your grid up that way. So right there is where I'm going to start next. So zoom in so you can see the pixels, and then you can work on it. Now for sizing, you gotta remember each block is 16 by 16. I am currently working with a 25 by 25 inner area, meaning I'm not counting those outer blocks because that's frame. So 25 times 16 is 400. So 400 by 400. That will give you dimensions of your pixels. So your image, when you scale it in GIMP, needs to be at most 400 on the largest side. And you need to find the center. Which GIMP has this handy bar at the top and side to tell you what pixel mark you're at. So you simply go to the 200 by 200 mark, and there's your center. And that's where you start at when you start in the center of your platform. Of course, you do want to find the center of your platform first, but that should be a given. If you look at the rectangular tool, it has a center. If I can select it. Yeah, see the little dot under my cursor? That's its center. If you line that on the 200 by 200 mark, you're going to be in the center. So, now that you know all that, it's time to get started. Now, when you're doing this, the most important thing is your outer edges. Because if your outer edges aren't perfect, the next blocks aren't going to match all that well. So, try to do your outer edges first. So, I'm coming up here. I'm going to use guesswork to say what pixels are more important than others, because as you see here, these two pixels are a little darker, so I'm going to go with them. Now if you wanted to get really specific and you wanted to use wool for this, you could go out and get multicolored wool and do all the shading and everything else on it too, and do literally every pixel. But it's not needed. Not really. I've done that on this whole structure, and as you can see, it's turned out fine. It hasn't had to have any shading or anything like that. Now, it does help when you choose an image to do that it has crisp lines, because if you don't have an image with crisp lines, when you go to like put it up, it's going to be very, not blurry, but there's going to be a lot of this. I don't know what you would call it, disparity. It's going to be a lot of that, and that's it doesn't help you whenever you're trying to do imaging. So, just you see, there's your outline of your area you're working on. Um, I suggest always having at least one tool that you can, or a block or something you can pull out to see the outline of your working area. Now, I'm working on the underside of an area. That's going to make it a little more difficult, so keep that in mind. Only because when you look straight up, you don't exactly turn, you spin. See? Yeah, it gets very tedious. So you have to position yourself in an area where you're not really even looking at it straight. If it was on the side, you wouldn't have that issue. So, so we're starting at the corner over here, and we're counting down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to count that, so we'll say 8. 8 down. So we do our counting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. That is the outer mark. We just fill the rest in. There you go. That's the start. We know where we're at, so we skip 1, and boom. And that's right here. Now, if you want to verify and you want to be really picky, you can come back to the other corner and count up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be on the 5th one. See? 5th one. Just exactly where we needed to be. And just keep working on the outer edges first. That way, whenever you go back and you do the middle, it doesn't matter as much. Now, I do say you want to try to be as close to the picture as possible, but it's not an absolute necessary thing. 5. Right there. That's the start, and it's 4 wide. Okay, and this is going up perpendicular. Or corner-wise, my bad. Like so. And then that's going to be coming straight out. Alright. Now, if you do the outline like I'm doing here, it's easy just to go back and fill it in. So we'll say that's 2, and then it comes over like so. And we see 3, 4, 5. That should put me about 3 away from the side. Yeah. Yeah, that puts me right where I need to be. Then it comes up. Boom. Like that. Let's see, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the end of that. Okay, that's the outside. Now, it's not looking like much right now, but here in a minute, you'll see a definite difference. Okay, the second one is about 3, so about like there. Okay. And then it's skip 2 and hit 1. Alright, like that. And it's 2, 3, and then line. Okay, that's just going to go all the way over. Alright, now let's see. We're coming back up to the top. Let's see. That top corner is 2, 3, 4 wide. So it's going to be here. And then it comes down there. And skip 2, then hit 3. Boom. That's going over. So this is where a little bit of creativity comes in play. Because you're not going to be able to do all this perfectly, but you will be able, for the most part, do it. So that's why I said do your outsides first. The insides won't matter as much, because as long as it's meeting the next piece you're going to, you don't have to worry about it being like 4 blocks or not in this case blocks, but bits, differential and sized. Okay, now let's see. Well, that isn't perfect. You can take a look and see that the image on the right that's been rectangles selected out and the block are pretty similar. Yeah, I think I may actually, boom. I think that'll help. Yeah, see, that's why you come back and you look at it again. Because while that's an outside edge, if you look at the block next to it, it is getting lighter. So that doesn't make a super important block area. Okay, I think that looks fair. Alright, so when you're done, you make sure you have an opposing selection of color to its neighbor. So that is red. I already have blue selected, so you hit, first you gotta select the window, hit your color selection tool, and then color it in. Now P is paint, and I didn't mean color selection tool. You can use paint, you can use the bucket tool or whatever. Um, I didn't mention this. You need to have a second layer if you're using GIMP. You have your main layer, which is the under image, and you have your second layer that you're actually coloring these on, and have its opacity drop down to about 40. That way you can see through it. Because if you can't see through it, you're not going to know where you're at. And it's always nice to be able to take a reference from the picture, from the images around it. And that's essentially all you need to know. I mean, yeah, really is nothing else to say. It doesn't cost you anything to get GIMP. It's absolutely free. You can find it online easily by Googling, or leave a I'll leave a link in the description to where to get it if you don't already have it. And just have fun. Choose an image that you really want to do. For this one, I've chosen this magic circle because I'm doing Thaumcraft and I wanted it for decoration. You can see that it's coming pretty good. I did add in these myself because they were not in the original image, and I just went and found a couple of other magic circles that had these symbols in them, and I just took them off of there. So there you go. That's all you need to do.